We are in Wimbledon with Ben Rothenberg, a New York Times contributor, a few minutes, I would say, after the new defeat of Rafael Nadal in Wimbledon. He lost to Dustin Brown, and did you expect that?
I was not shocked. I thought Nadal would win this match. I did not think that Dustin Brown would have this sort of attention span to put together a best-of-5 set win over a player as tough as Rafa is mentally, but Dustin was better than I thought. I thought that he would challenge Rafa after he killed him last year in Halle. That match was not close.
Yeah, it's true, Ben. But, last year, Rafa Nadal was coming from his ninth success in Roland Garros. It was his first tournament on grass. He had not played. This time was different because Nadal had one tournament that he won on grass. Then he lost in Queens.
This time was also different, though, because Rafa last year was number 1. When they were played in Halle. And this time he's number 10, and he's had a terrible year by his standards. Yeah. And so he came into this tournament very damaged, very weak, vulnerable, especially on first week grass when he was playing quicker. He was always going to... There were a lot of players in this draw who could beat Nadal, which you wouldn't ever say about him normally under normal circumstances. But on grass, in the first week, there's a lot of players who can trouble Nadal, and Brown is certainly one of them. And Brown has the weapons and was very, very consistent for his game, the high-risk style, but kept it going, and it was not a shock. I would not have been, if you told me at the beginning of the day, Brown will beat Nadal, I would say, okay. I would not be shocked. You?
Okay.
Were you shocked?
Well, no, I didn't expect Brown, as you said, to be so consistent for 4 sets. One thing is to beat a player on grass, the best of 3 sets, especially if he comes from clay the day before or so, a few days before. And another thing is to beat him a best of 5. But it's true that in the last 4 years, the last 4 times that Nadal played, he always lost before the
quarterfinals.
And Kyrgios last year
they were all to guys at 100 or higher in the world. He's losing
like
to
Brown.
Anybody. Like Brown, and he's had other losses this year. He lost to Michael Barrere in Doha. He nearly lost to Tim Smyczek, who was outside top 100. And Australia, that match was a mess. He's been so vulnerable to so many people. And he was. You were in his press. I don't know. He was very sad after.
I've never seen Nadal so sad as tonight.
Yeah, me too.
I was really impressed. A little bit sad for me too, because it's always painful. To see someone who has been a big champion suddenly to fall down like that.
It's sudden, but at the same time, I think with the way he played, we always thought that Nadal, or a lot of people thought that Nadal, his physical style would catch up to him eventually. Maybe it's happening more suddenly.
So
than
that means
thought,
you don't expect that he will come back.
I don't think he'll be number 1 again. I can say that confidently. I think he's going to be a contender on clay for as long. That's when he's best service for a while. He could definitely win another French Open. I think the only player who probably could have beaten him there this year was Djokovic. Maybe Wawrinka if Wawrinka was playing great, but he's still an elite player on clay. On grass, he's certainly not an elite player. On hard court, we'll see. He's been very up and down on hard court. He is he did great the last time he came to the U.S. He won Canada, Cincinnati, and the U.S. Open. Last year he skipped all 3. We'll see how he does this year.
Yeah. Well, until Nadal's defeat, we were saying that it wasn't the women's draw that the most upset were coming, because 6 players out of the top 12 went out.
Yeah.
And while the men's draw, only Feliciano Lopez, who is number 15, he was the top ranked who lost.
That's not too bad. And the player he lost to, I don't know if you know anything about Basilashvili, but he's a good player.
I know that he's Georgian, and I remember that Alex Metrevelli was a finalist from Georgia in 1973 when he lost to Jan Kodesh.
Yeah.
But then, since then, we didn't have many Georgians.
No, not many.
Play well.
We had Labadze.
Gabashvili.
Gabashvili, Labadze. Chaklatadze is of Georgian family, so she was maybe the best. But not many. So he's good. He's a fun player to watch. So
Did you see the tweener of Roger Federer?
I did, of course.
Versus
Sam Querrey. Yeah, no,
we put it on the website because it was a fantastic.
It's a great shot, and Federer it was great. He was saying in press, he got asked about the shot and was saying, I only have a couple seconds. I don't have time to think of things. I can only think of, what's the game score? And what if I do a go here? Maybe he was thinking like 20 things. His tennis sort of genius level of tennis thinking he has that so few people have. That he thought of before hitting this shot.
Listen, one last question on the women's tennis. Okay. Do you expect Venus and Serena Williams playing once against the other?
I think so. Venus has a tougher match. Serena will be fine against Heather Watson. That's not going to be a problem, I don't think. Krunic has played well.
I saw Krunic playing well versus Irani. She plays
Venus,
really well. She's talented.
And Venus is going to hold serve a lot more than Irani, though. I mean, Irani,
sure,
that's always going to be an issue for her, especially on grass. I think they will get there. Venus losing would not shock me. Not as shocked, but like Dustin Brown, not as shocked, but I expect Venus to win.
Listen, many thanks to Ben Rothenberg, a good friend of mine and a great contributor of New York Times. See you tomorrow.
Ciao.
Ciao. Good Italian.